Hi, I'm Scott Griffith, and this is another issue of our podcast, Land and Legacy in Livingston County by Griffith Realty, and with my sister Carol, the Vice President of Griffith Realty. And today we have a very special guest, a guest that we've known for years, both personally and professionally. It's Pam McConeghy, the Director of the Chamber of Commerce for Brighton. And so, Pam, welcome.
Thank you, Scott and Carol. It's so good to be here and to see you again.
As I say, Pam has lots of legacy with our family. We've known her since, when she lived out in Brighton Township, and when she had her children, and our children's all grown. She's got grandchildren now, so we've been around a long time. So we're all townies here. So we thought it'd be exciting to have Pam today talk a little bit about what's going on at the Chamber. Probably give us a little overview of what the Chamber's all about for people who don't know why we have Chambers of Commerces, because they're so crucial to the business environment. And so, Pam, just tell us about the Brighton Chamber and what's the happenings here.
Well, thanks, Scott. So the Brighton Chamber is really the Greater Brighton Area Chamber of Commerce, and it also consists of the Pinckney-Putnam-Hamburg Health Chamber and the Whitmore Lake Chamber, and most recently the Kensington Valley Chamber. So we, as a chamber, are in 3 counties. We're in Livingston, and then we are in northern Washtenaw and western Oakland County. So we just recently picked up the Kensington Valley Chamber, and it's a privilege to work there. We're building it. There's so much potential out there.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, as chamber members, to be able to have exposure to other businesses like ourselves and more of them in the environment of the chamber is a wonderful thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
And if you're a member of any of the chambers, you're a member of all of the chambers. So one for all and all for one. So there's a lot that we offer through the chamber, and I think it's good. We're definitely growing in a time that can be a little bit stressful when some of the chambers are not growing like that, but we are, and it's a good thing. We're just trying to keep up with everything, and I've had to hire additional staff to do that. So it's good.
So when you do add all those, how many members would you say are underneath this envelope now?
Right, we have close to 1,000 members. We lost probably a good couple hundred during COVID.
Sure.
But we're continually growing. That is pretty normal, though, to lose members during whatever season it is.
Sure.
The Kensington Valley Chamber had lost members during COVID, too. And we are just going back and picking those up again. So I'm just coming from a meeting that we had at the Southline Hotel called Building Blocks Bistro, and we had a tremendous turnout.
Oh, good.
Most of them coming from this area to that area, but all of our different chambers were represented, and it was good. It was so good. I'm just so pleased with it.
That is wonderful. So what are some of the main reasons? I know I have my opinion, but I'll let you tell us. What are some of the main reasons that people belong to a Chamber of Commerce? What are some of the member benefits?
Okay, well, we have a lot of that.
I know.
We have a lot of benefits. I'm going to say the primary reason that people join is to network.
Yes.
And to meet other businesses. And we're really good at that. We connect the dots between businesses. We do our very best in that area, but it's for those connections, and it's to attend different programs that we put on, educational or whatever type. We put them all on. We put on all of those programs, and we offer everything that we could possibly offer to our chamber members. We ask them repeatedly what they would like to see in our conversations, and so from that we grow our programming.
Sure.
And I don't know. I'm pretty creative, I think. Like, I'm not really fantastic I wouldn't be considered a guru with numbers. I mean, you'd never want me to do that department. But with growing the chamber and coming up with ideas, that's good. So we offer opportunities for all of that networking and schmoozing. We're huge with the referral networks, and just as a referral network. And let's see. We also put on
special events.
We do.
Some of the best networking. Other than the referral groups, which is always nice to have one-on-ones. Some of your events. Obviously, Carol members, and I know you did too. We can go all the way back to the early days of the Corvette raffles,
Right.
And out at the tennis club and so forth, and they were the biggest events in town. And they, the Chamber's always had the biggest events. Now you have the Blues Fest, and you have all these things downtown Brighton. They're so awesome,
Right.
And so
we
amazing.
are primarily, though, a business organization.
Yeah.
That is my number one, is to support the local businesses and for all the different areas,
Sure.
and to work together with the municipalities and just the people in general. To me, that is number one. But having those events, those great signature events, it's really important too. It's really important for the economy of whatever area we host them in.
Oh yeah, it's
So,
really wonderful, and you're good at it, like you say you are. I do go back to, like you say, your first role is to support the businesses. I think your political. Even though you don't come off like a politician or a lobbyist, your political influence is crucial to the support of all businesses. I think the downtown merchant, the general office person, they need advocates like the chamber. The chamber is that person. Even I know you have a governmental affairs committee that I happen to be on that committee, so I know we've had meetings, and I mean I think that's where. It's too hard for an individual to have the influence, but the chamber collectively, you represent more than 1,000 people. You have a voice that can help business.
You are so right, Scott. And our public policy committee is important because it's another form to educate our members on different, perhaps, people that are running for office, representatives. We talked about that this morning in our meeting, or just different issues. We support issues and we don't support other issues. And we're not a political chamber. We don't endorse candidates, but we inform on candidates and on issues.
Yeah, I think you've done an excellent job over the years staying on the business issues, staying on the side of the business and their needs, and not getting down into the minutia of who it is, but rather the issue and then bringing your influence to when it's needed. I know over the years the chamber supported a lot of different businesses in municipal settings that needed help when they had to go see boards, and that's a wonderful thing.
Right, and like, for example, during COVID, when they were struggling, we helped to get the word out on grants and to help get the word on the different loans that were out there, and a lot of people took advantage of that. We tried to stay, it was just me at that time, tried to stay on top of everything just to support the businesses. That is like number one, helping those businesses, because those businesses are so important. Right. Like even a little ribbon cutting for a small business. So we just did one for the smoke doctor in Pinckney. The other day he makes this good barbecue, and he's just a small business. He started out just kind of making barbecue on the side of the road at some business, and it grew, and we're so happy for him. So we celebrate the small businesses, and then of course we love having the large businesses because they really support us. So large businesses like Bank of Ann Arbor and Lake Trust and St. Joe Mercy, which is now Trinity, they've been Brighton Ford, they've been fantastic supporters. Blue Cross Blue Shield. And they help to keep us up and running, because it's hard to just staying alive with memberships that come in.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. And so for someone who doesn't know, it's a membership-driven base, so you pay a membership fee, and it's usually based upon the number of staff that you have. Will structure the number how much you pay. So to be a member. So that's, and like you say, if it wasn't for donations, that wouldn't be enough, but you got to keep it affordable so that a guy who's a merchant can still be a member, right? So and then over the years, I mean, Brighton Chamber's famous for bringing their collective power to help things like bring a group insurance plan for the different for businesses. I don't know, do we still have such a thing?
We do. We have the Blue Cross,
the Blue Cross system,
Blue Shield. Blue Care Network plan, and we also have accident fund, workers' comp, and we have a lot of different perks through the chamber.
And I mean, and I think, if a person's a sole proprietor, you've given them a depth that they just can't bring to the table, so it's great. So it's absolutely wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Well, no, it's been great. So So tell us something exciting about what's going on here in the future. I know that you have lots of events, and I know those are always fun.
We
but do you have
do.
anything you're really looking
Well, we
forward
have
to?
signature events, and they're coming up, but we have done those primarily also through COVID.
Sure.
So we had those events last year. So we're looking forward to a good turnout with that. But I'm looking forward to the business events that we have coming up, and we have a lot of them. And for instance, we have an Alliance business meeting coming up to talk about electric cars, and GM will be speaking, and LaFontaine is a sponsor, as is Brighton Ford, but we have GM speaking about those electric cars, and then we also have Detroit Edison speaking about the batteries. And so looking to the future, what does that really mean? How does that really happen? And we have meetings like for the young professionals and for the women's group, and just so many different meetings that are coming up. Sometimes it's hard to keep up.
I think, and for those who watch our podcast, I think they should know that your influence, I mean, Pam is crucial to the image of the Greater Brighton Area Chamber, and because of that, she serves on the Convention and Visitor Bureau Board, you serve on the EDC Board, you serve on the DDA Board, and so the Chamber is at all the crucial points of business development and business retention here in the community. And I thank you for it, but I also think it's a wonderful thing. It's a perk of being a member, and we're proud to be members of an organization that can be there,
Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Yes, there's a lot to that job, and I'm privileged and honored to be able to serve on those boards. I appreciate all of the work that they do. I love where they're taking this area, like the Convention and Visitors Bureau. They have great plans going forward, and Economic Development Council working with Ann Arbor Spark, and the DDA with the streetscape. We are just at the threshold of so many great things. So we're going to be putting on a meeting as well on the streetscape. A lot of the community and the people outside of the downtown district don't really know about it. So we're going to invite everybody to come and hear about what exactly is going to be going on in Brighton with the streetscape. It's a major project. There's going to be street closures, and people have to be aware. And then also at that meeting, we will have MDOT there to talk about the I-96 interchange shutdown.
Yeah, shut down.
Yeah, shut down in 23 too.
Yeah.
23. It's all happening back to back. And so we want to be there to help support people so that they can remain working efficiently.
Yeah, these next few years are going to be an interesting challenge for everybody to both live here, drive in and out, and then for businesses, it'll be challenging to keep people coming to your businesses because of it, right?
Right. So we want to keep those doors open.
There's always lots of exciting things happening. I think we all have heard recently that the St. Joe's is going to build their new hospital location in the Brighton location, which is very exciting.
I know. I am just really thrilled with that whole idea. I mean, Howell has been great, but to have that now coming to Brighton in that already beautiful center is going to be fantastic. And that's one of the reasons they have to redo that interchange too.
Right.
Is they have to make it quick for those ambulances to come and efficient.
So, and so you're really in touch with business, and I know that. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you right now see for businesses, and then how are you as a chamber trying to address those?
I would say there's uncertainty with the future.
Sure.
Like right now with inflation and gas prices and nobody really in Ukraine, China, Russia, nobody. I mean, what should I say? Everybody is concerned, and we don't really know the future because our world is different than it's ever been before, and we all have to keep our eyes on that, and we have to be smart about that and look to our leaders and pray that they're smart about it.
Do you see the issue of employment still being an issue right now, or has the credit tightening taken away some of that, or are we still having problems getting employees?
We're having problems.
Are we? Yeah.
Everybody needs employees still, and there's something happened during COVID. There was like the black hole.
Yeah.
They're all in the black hole,
They're
all those
left,
employees.
and nobody's coming back.
Maybe they can't get out of that black hole, but they're in there. And these businesses, they all need help. And, it's a sad situation, and there's only so much that you can really do. You try your best. I've even had like a job fair at the chamber for the restaurants. Sure. I made up an application. I took the applications. I introduced myself on behalf of whatever restaurants wanted to become involved with it. And then I distributed the resumes to the restaurants, and I hope I never, asked again. But yeah, everybody needs help. Everybody out there needs help. All different positions.
Well, as you know, I mean, you also cover an area that's primarily the area that we cover for housing, and housing is such a big issue. And historically, the folks that are going to be a lot of what I guess you call the worker bees of restaurants and all, they're priced out of our market. We're a wonderfully expensive area to live in if you're an executive, but it's very difficult. So to have people have to commute here to work and go home and then have gas go through the sky is kind of like...
Makes it impossible.
Yeah, think about how hard that must be, and the difficulty with that, and so...
We don't have that attainable housing here.
No.
And it doesn't seem like many of the municipalities want that in their areas.
It's kind of our experience too, that it's a high level thing everybody says they want, but when you get down to it, the not in my backyard mentality
not in my backyard
influences the politics of the communities, and the communities don't really seem to be encouraging it or making provisions that allow it to happen easily.
Right. So they're not seeing this whole thing through the eyes of the businesses, through those manufacturers or the small businesses like retailers or restaurants. They're not seeing it through that. They're just primarily looking at who's going to be in their backyard, as you say.
Right.
And they're very choosy about that. And
really
it makes it really difficult. So we have a program coming up with that through the chamber, through the Public Policy Committee once again, that we are scheduling. And we have done that with the Chamber Alliance, which is also with the Howell Chamber and the Heartland Chamber and the Brighton Chamber. And we put programs on, and one was on attainable housing. And it's just a sad fact that you can have these meetings, but then nothing has changed. Really, nothing has changed. So I get frustrated.
I think it's people will identify, people will say, yep, I see the issue. But at the end of the day, there's no one source that's doing something about it. And if they are, they're not getting traction.
Right.
I'm not sure there is anybody, but if they are, they haven't managed to do anything about it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There isn't really an answer there.
I look at that as the employment issue, because I just think that you as mortgage rates go up, it should keep prices from houses going up. But the problem is, it means it's more expensive to buy a house, and therefore the person who can't afford to live here now isn't going to get any closer to living here.
No, and it's just a statewide issue, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. It's not just Livingston County.
When supplies are limited, it causes the prices to escalate, and it causes the same problem to get worse. So
right.
Yeah. So anyway, but I just didn't know if employment was still the hot issue. I imagine inflation's right now a huge issue for businesses. Everywhere I know, supply chain issues are making costs go up, but yet nobody wants to be the guy that raises his price first, because it's a fickle world and people shop price.
And we have a program that is being scheduled, and it's on that supply chain issue. And we're going to have Lauren Darnell speak at it, and he has spoken before at Harvard on that subject. Nice. So he's committed to doing that. We also have a program coming up, which I think is really interesting, and perhaps it has something to do with all of this, but artificial intelligence and robots. I don't know if you saw on 60 Minutes a couple weeks ago. If you didn't, I would YouTube it to see where this company, Boston Dynamics, is what they're doing with robots. Mm-hmm. Those robots are pretty superhuman. And then if you add artificial intelligence to them, it could go great, or it could also become very scary, like a science fiction movie. So we're getting a specialist from Stanford to speak on that.
Oh,
yeah.
that'll be great.
Right. But I think it's really interesting. And if you were to tune into that show, just look at the YouTube to see how they run and how they react. And some of the things that they do right now, they do on their own. So they're programming them with their hands, with the programmer. But then they said some of the things they actually are doing on their own. It's kind of creepy. But I do think, it could be the future. And so I think we want to get that word out too. I think it's interesting, fascinating.
It is amazing. I know Google has some, and Microsoft and these companies have done some amazing things with voice synthesization, and you saw a lot of these calls that you're now going to make, and you're talking, and you think you're talking to a human, you really aren't, but the systems are so
sophisticated.
The AI technology is so good that you aren't going to know that you're not talking to them as they're asking you the questions and taking you through things. So it's interesting.
It's interesting. I mean, it's hard to know. We're entering into the golden years, as my son Miles says, the golden years. But I think I'm in the golden years.
I think my gray hair made me that way.
I mean, the golden years or the gray years, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, it's things have happened so quickly in our time. When you look back and you look at, having those big, thick, fat TVs and going from, I hate to date myself so much, but black and white to color. And then people would be so excited if they had a color TV. Oh my gosh. Now look at all this stuff. I don't know. I'm proud of where I am in life. I'm glad I made it this far.
I think change is good. I like change, so it's fun. So I always say, Carol and I, and growing up in Brighton, if it was the same Brighton I grew up in, I wouldn't live here. But now it's changed, and I like that. That's what makes it fun. It's dynamic.
I know. So, Brighton is great.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really excited and appreciative of everything that you've done at the Chamber for us.
Scott, thanks.
We really love working with the Chamber. We are appreciative of what it does for the business community.
I'm glad that you see that vision, but the two of you need to be commended on all that you do in the community and how far you've been the presidents of all these real estate organizations.
I was once the president of the Chamber, and it's not the Chamber we're in today. So that shows you how much it's changed.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really different. But you two have done so much. You're such fabulous leaders in our
thank you.
County.
Thank you so much.
I almost said country, but you are such fabulous leaders in the country.
Okay, yeah. Well, with that, I guess I would like to thank you, Pam, for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do, Pam. I mean,
thanks, Carol.
Not only is the Chamber such a trusted resource for our businesses and our residents, but you personally, you just wear your heart on your sleeve, and I don't know when you sleep. You probably don't. But,
I know. I just don't really
I don't
get
know
a lot.
a harder worker that takes us on so personally
I
as
don't
you
know.
do.
I do.
And that
Thanks.
credits the success.
When do you get time to practice the piano?
Thanks.
I know you play for your church, and I'm like, how do you get time to practice?
I know. I have I take Saturdays to practice, but I have rehearsals on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I play on Sunday mornings for all the services, and then I play on Sunday night.
That's remarkable. Yeah. And then you still do everything else. Okay, well, good for you.
But that's volunteering. That's volunteering because I love to do it. And it's for such a wonderful cause.
Yeah.
It's a ministry, so that keeps me going because I might definitely derail. I am the type that can derail.
Sure. Well, that's
But
great.
thank you so much for having me today.
A question I've asked everybody who's ever spoken, and it's just because I like, what's your favorite thing to do in the community when you have like a day off, and what's your favorite restaurant to go to in the community?
Well, it's kind of touchy for me to say that.
Well, I was going to say, this could be a complicated restaurant. You might say, what day is it, right?
Yeah, I love all the restaurants.
Get it.
I was at Single Barrel Social the other night. That was really good. And I just love those restaurant owners. Yeah. I do. I'm anxious for the new restaurants to open. I like the diversity that we have. I'm thinking we should probably do like a Mexican festival since we have so many Mexicans.
Yeah, we're getting close to having a...
Like, why not have some kind of a
Sure.
ethnic Mexican festival?
Right.
Margarita night in the social district.
Right. I'm thinking that. Okay, and then what do I like to do?
Yeah.
Well, truthfully, I love to go shopping. I love to hit small towns and go shopping. I do that way too much. And I'm doing that tomorrow, actually, with Jeannie Darnell. Who's she likes to go, and we just hit these different towns. Like I got this dress here in Ypsilanti, downtown, but they're all Michigan towns, and so now we're going to Holland, and we're going to go shopping.
That's a great place.
Yeah, but I love to ride my bike. So I've been riding with the Rotary Riders at 6:15 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Wow. Wonderful.
And it's really hard. I mean, I was so tired today. In addition to like the 7:15 DDA meeting, and then I'm getting up at 5 for church on Sundays. There's not a lot of rest, but I love riding with those people because I just think that they're so nice. We do about 12 miles in the morning, and Stan Schaefer keeps my bike for me because it's too heavy. I ride an electric bike because I could never keep up with them. I could never.
Hey.
I still can't.
It's called scaling. He's got a skill of what you can do.
Yeah, and I'm not embarrassed by it.
No.
And then George Mose is also, he has my bike right now for tomorrow because Stan's out of town.
That's great.
But these people everybody's so nice here. You know, I just love this community. They're so nice.
Oh, that's great.
They're dragging that bike along, and it's so heavy. But anyway, I'm so appreciative of my job, of doing the work at the church, and of the people I know, like you guys.
You
that's
certainly
great.
know.
You people,
how
not
to
you guys.
serve. You're the epitome of service. Great job.
Well, thank you
So-
for doing this for us today. We enjoy it very much. Always
Thank
enjoy your
you.
company. And I guess with that, this is another edition of Land and Legacy. Thank you.
Thank you.